Good evening, everyone. So happy that you guys were able to join this evening. We are going to be actually talking about an overview of business plan components. Within this components, it's really focused on people who have existing businesses. So with that said, before we get started, I want to give some shout outs and say hello to a couple of people on here. My people that are up in here, I would say BSBA, shout out. Thank you so much for bringing me in to support on the TAP 2.0 program. So excited to be here. And then even with, I think my girlfriend now that I'm connecting with, Miss Pat, thank you for coming in and checking us out on today. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Awesome. So let's go to the next slide. So I just want to give you a healthy reminder of our calendar so that you know what's going on with BSBA and the TAP 2 program. There are other interesting things on the website. So please, at your leisure, take some time, go through and check us out and see what's going on, right? So that you can get connected. And even with that, just making sure that you have the opportunity to be able to scroll through and look for grant or other options for funding for your businesses. If there is information that you need for starting a business, that information is listed there as well. So, okay, let's get started. Wow, look at this money, right? So the first thing you think when you see money is it's raining money, right? Could you imagine yourself in a situation where there was a life that could have a business that was fully aligned in its purpose, right? And so you're operating in that, and then the opportunities are infinite when you operate in opportunities like that. So this symbol of money is strictly here to bring you back to the fact that your ideas and your resources, you have to make sure that they are collaborative so that you're connecting, so that it becomes everything that you desire and need. What if I said, this is your current business? What if I said you just haven't unlocked your full potential? That is an opportunity for you. So let's find out what we can do to get you there. Next slide. So I thought about this slide and I kind of stole it from a good friend of mine. She's on here, Miss Pat. And I said, hey, we can do introductions. And I know you guys have a chat screen in an area that you can go ahead and put your information in. But what I really want you to think about in this slide, you need to be thinking about interviewing and talking about your business often, right? So whenever you meet people and you're in conversations, you're going to say your name, right? You're going to talk about your business, right? When you're going to these different conferences and these different business ventures, you're always going to talk about how long you've been in business because that kind of gives you that experience, right? That puts you out there as, I'm the one who knows, I'm the expert in this area. But in order to hone in on what you truly do, you have to constantly be in the right circles of individuals, right? To talk about your business in a way that your elevator pitch is 60 seconds, but you're putting it into a space of 10 words or less. You really need to be trying to say, what are my ideas? What are my things? What really stands out and separates me from the other business? I would like to say, again, like I said, always interviewing. Remembering every connection that you make is either going to be a potential customer, or a potential investor, or a potential business partner. What I've learned throughout the time in business is I have a motto, and this motto actually comes from the Word of God. I've learned to be slow to speak and quick to listen, right? Because when we're slow to speak, it gives us a chance to listen to who's in our circle and what kinds of things that they do. But quick to listen means, oh, I got it, but I don't have to say anything about it. I can just jot that down and see how that pertains to my business, right? And there's another one, a slang, not a slang, but a saying that I have, right? It's called slow down in order to speed up. If we slow down, it gives us a chance to really, really hone in on areas that we can fix and create and go back and rebuild in order for us to go to that next level. So I want you guys to think about that in your introduction throughout this process. And I don't care if your introduction is later on and you tap it in later and just kind of say who you are, but think about those 10 words or less that can describe your business and put it out there, at least before this time is over. Next slide. So for most of you, you know the standard business plan, right? We have our executive summary, which kind of gives the main points of the business. It's your most important area, right? You want to really hone in on this portion and make sure that you're highlighting these main points that are truly an area that you need to address, so people will know, hey, I'm interested, right? I want to be connected to this business no matter what. I want to purchase their product. I want that good or service, right? Also, these are just overview for you guys that have these businesses. The market analysis. You always want to do a thorough assessment, right, of the market within a specific industry, whether it's you're making the best tacos, right? Making sure that you've checked all the taco places around you and what makes your taco place different. Do you have that homemade type of salsa, right, that maybe Taco Bell doesn't have, or maybe El Pollo Loco doesn't have, but you're, put a little love into it, which is a little bit different than what the regular commercial brands are doing. You want to put that out there, okay? I would say company description is also very important. We always talk about what's in your description, right? You have your plan, your vision, your relationships that you've had in order to what took me to this place, what got me here, right? And so essentially in doing that, this typically includes like your company name, right? Your business structure, your mission statement, and an overview of the target market, right? I see questions popping up. So let me go ahead and address some of these questions. How long does a thorough market analysis typically take? Well, I would say that depends on how long you want it to take, right? Some people will go in and they'll do like, hey, I'll look at a couple of websites and I'll say, I've gotten enough information for my area, right? Some people will go as far as to see what's happening maybe in the west portion or the southern parts of that state, right? Or some will just stay within their region. It definitely depends on what you're trying to do with your business. I always say, set a goal that you're going through, not a goal that you're going to, okay? So whatever that goal is for market research, I would always look to shoot for the sky. If you want to have $1 million business, you want to look at the $1 million companies. You don't want to just focus on your small town companies that are near you. You want to see what those higher level businesses are doing and implement it at your level so that you will be ready when you reach the full maximum. Okay, awesome. So let's go into product also. So in products, right, what is it and why is it important, right? You always want to answer those questions, right? We want to know why it's important and why would the consumer want it? Or in cases of someone looking for someone to purchase their business, why would an investor invest in me? Why do they want my product? Why does it stand out more than what they've seen anywhere else? You want to focus on those areas because that is always going to put you above the rest. And then, of course, we know with the financials, we always say your financials have to be spot on. You don't want to make or create something that you're supplying and the cost of the produce, it exceeds what the item is actually worth, right? So you don't want to put something together and say, oh, I have to have the best of this, the best of that, and best of this. And by the time you're done, you create a $100 product that can only be sold for $100, right? We don't want to do that. We want to create something that's worth $100 that is sold for 20, okay? Or no, opposite, sorry. Create something that's, sold for, created that's worth $100, but sold for less, right? So that you can get it in there, okay? I hope I'm saying that right. I might have confused it, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. Awesome. Next slide. So the next portion would be, where are we going, right? So we have our vision statements, our mission statements, and usually when we've been in business for some time, it's always good to go back and really just look at your vision statement again, right? If it's necessary, regather the necessary documentation. You want to ensure that your company is still moving in that same direction. The term, where are we going, speaks to the current vision and mission, right, of the company. We want to ensure always that our company is doing what it takes to stay above and ahead, and that if there are changes that we've made, what does that look like? And how does that affect our bottom line? Has your company changed the delivery of their services, right? Were there things in the market that has shifted to cause them to change the delivery of those services? Is there a new line of business, right, that takes the company into another direction? Was there a recent turnover with a president, a CEO, right? Maybe some staffing changes. Those all shift the direction of the business, especially when they're key personnel, okay? You always want to also pay attention to your SWOT analysis, right? And we know that. Pay attention to our strengths. So these should always be done. I would say annually. It's a good idea to have it done annually. There are some businesses that do it quarterly. It just depends on how big your business is and what you can afford to do. But what we do know, right, is that COVID has created a lot of hardships economically for everyone. And so in that, there's a lot of weaknesses have been shown in the businesses that did not survive. Look around us, right? There's lots of businesses that were out there and a lot of them have shut down. But guess what? A lot of them have started up during COVID because a lot of people capitalized on that. So the question becomes, if you were in business prior to COVID and then you feel like your business was slipping during COVID, what could you have changed to continue to stay above water, right? So you want to identify your weaknesses in your business and what caused your sales to go down or for you to go out of business. You also want to identify your strengths. What were you doing that someone else was not doing during that time, right? I'm using COVID as an example because it was a major event that affected everyone. Didn't just affect businesses, it affected families, it affected our pockets, right? Financially, it affected how we live and how we move in general. So those are the things you want to keep thinking about. Remember, you're not just a business owner. You are also an individual, right? Who also consumes products as well. So what would you like to see from different businesses and when they're giving their products out? You want to think about that when you're creating your own. What about any threats, right? As well within that process. Did you then take an opportunity or did you let them create a threat and then just kind of push you all out of the business, right? We don't want to do that. We want to go back and evaluate those things and look at opportunities and create a business plan of how to rebuild and get back to where we really want to go. Okay, let me see. I would say as far as documentation, establishing your values, of course, and your vision statement. Again, if you have one right now, rewrite it. It's okay. It's okay to constantly change. It's okay to constantly have a mission that is driving towards something, right? Explain those values and why you decided to reevaluate. Talk about those things in this area as well as in your initial executive summary. It's always good to show that you're an ever-changing business that is constantly moving with the economy and moving with people and developing and being innovative. That is so important for people to see. Okay, next slide. So there is an evaluation period, right? And we want you guys to implement this if you don't currently have it. This is extremely important. The first thing I want you to pay attention to in an evaluation period is your total sales that you've made by the calendar year, okay? After you've gotten your business going, or maybe it's what you've done already in the past, right? Start looking at what your total sales were for the past, let's say 2 years, okay? If you've only been in business for a year, you want to take some time and just kind of monitor that going into the second year. You want to review the major occurrences, right, within those years. What affected those times? Was I short-staffed? Was there something that happened economically? Was there an inflation period? Was there a pandemic, right? What happened? What caused the increase or decrease for your business, okay? And then, of course, you want to move towards the lessons learned. What did we learn about that process? What happened with our products? Did our target population change, right? Is the location appropriate for the target population at this time now? Or is there something happening in this neighborhood that is changing, that it's no longer a desire for my product anymore, right? Do I need to go online? Do I need to do something different, right? So you start to look at what works, right? And so that's moving me to what works, right? Is there a new item that you implemented? As I mentioned earlier, a change in your delivery method? Was there possibly a photography business? Let's say, for example, a photography business. Maybe there were people coming into your studio, right? Then COVID hit, okay? And so now nobody's comfortable in coming into your studio. So then you changed, right? I decided to meet at parks, or I came and I met with people in their homes, right? At their location or whatever they selected to do. You want to make it comfortable for your business and your customers, right? To be able to still keep your bottom line, but have the adjustment time to be able to move with everyone else. And of course, after everything's done, determining, is this a permanent change that I want to keep with my business so I can show my flexibility? Or is this something that I'm like, I want to go back to the way I was doing business before. But knowing what took place, I was able to stay afloat, right? And then after you've done all those evaluations, right? We like to do things a lot, but we don't like to continue and follow through. Hear me, follow through is so important, okay? You need to implement the changes that you made, okay? After gathering all this information, your evaluation period, you start marketing the new way you do business, okay? And you implement those changes that you're making. Involve social media, right? Do campaigns, talk about what's new with your business. Even if you have a new YouTube channel, or if you have a location that you post on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, get your kids involved. I mean, if you see there's plumber companies out there where their kids are TikToking now, right? And you just remember the TikTok. You may not remember the product, but you say, who's the plumber with the TikTok, right? When you do a search. So you want to put yourself out there. Marketing is not as bad as you think. If you get some good people around you, you'll be able to market on your own or even get their ideas and ask them if you can use them, right? It's okay. It's okay to include people in this process, okay? Next slide. So here's another one, redesigning your business, right? You want to review your business plan that you initially had when you started, and then you want to go back over it. Kind of just see what's going on, how that went, right? It's good to take your time and find the areas that can be strengthened and revamped. I would encourage also to look for partnerships and collaborations. That's extremely important. Sometimes you have the idea, but you don't have the backing and the support. These are opportunities to push your business to the next level. You can still be a business owner and have a joint venture contract. What's joint venture? Well, that means you're going into business with someone, right? You're doing it more of an independent contract. And in that joint venture, you have the ability to gain more experience while working under the umbrella of someone else. And that builds your resume. That builds who your business is, right? So when you're able to stand on your own, if you're not ready and you want it to revamp, you can do it, okay? So two minds are better than one, okay? Most times our ideas and our thoughts come from our experience, right? And we are very connected to the following of those specific areas and those processes. The problem with that is that you try to move the business forward without any flexibility or change, right? Because you think my idea is better. That's why I'm here. Well, yeah, your idea got you there, but what's going to push you forward, right? Everybody needs a little help. And of course, change is good. With the right information, I would say conduct surveys, right, on how you implemented your product, and talk about those things, right, with the community. Do little online surveys. That's why everybody pushes those things when you go into these restaurants and they say, hey, we'll give you $10 if you do the survey, right? We'll give you 15% off if you do the survey, right? You know, most of the times we get aggravated with it. But if we stop at the store often and we shop there, then we probably want to take the survey, right? And get that little extra percentage. But guess what? That's a win for you because they come back to your store and they come back to your business. And they're able to purchase using that 10 to 15% off. That's an idea for you right there, okay? Next slide. Just want to give you guys some marketing strategies, like some analysis that you can go to and kind of review. I took this slide from my dear friend, Miss Pat, because it's very, very important. It has a lot of resources on there, so that will be available for you. So please take the time to do your research on what you've done in the past and compare it to what you're doing now in the current, and bring and close that gap so that you can get to the next level, okay? Next slide. Awesome. Last part, but not least, don't give up. This is extremely important, okay? It's hard to open a business sometimes when you feel like you're under pressure and you're doing it by yourself. It's very important for you to have an accountability partner in business, right? It could be your good friend who opened a different type of business down the street, but you want to constantly check in with them so that they can keep you accountable if you're not able to keep yourself accountable. So important. I would say affirmations are important. Speaking very highly of your business, saying where your business is already going, even if you don't see it. Affirm it. Say it's there, right? And then everything else will follow. Definitely keep pushing yourself in that place, okay? And of course, positive collaborations. Be careful who you're connecting to and hanging around. that's going to determine what your business does as well. If they're negative and their talk and what they do and their negative self-talk, you'll find yourself connecting to that, right? And then you start connecting those words to your business and your life and what you do, right? It's called negative self-talk, okay? Avoid that at all cost. Surround yourself with positive people speaking positively about your business and achieving your goals, okay? Awesome. Next slide. Almost done, guys. Here are a few business plan templates. This is another good one. Go to, of course, www.sba.gov. I would say that would be the first one you go to find some templates. There is also another location with the Hustle to Startup.com. Definitely go there and visit. And of course, our partners on here, BSBA, check them out, -ca.gov. They are amazing individuals. Miss Selena Pryor, President and CEO, is handling her business, and it definitely keeps her website up to date at all times. So please, definitely go check these things out for you, okay? Awesome. Next slide. Just want to leave you guys with my contact information. It has been a pleasure being on here with you today. Just know that we are also doing consultations. They are available to be able to discuss your business and kind of dissect it and give you some feedback and some information so that you can be your best, okay? Remember, with that slide, I want you to know that very beginning one, Miss Selena, if you can pull that money slide back up for me, that's extremely important because I want you to focus on that and get a good picture. It should be slide 3. And I see Miss Jill, I'm going to address your question in just a second. The reason that is up here, I want to reiterate that again. This is what you are filled with already. Your mind, your thoughts, you have everything that you need to get your business going in the right direction. You just need a little support and a little assistance, okay? And so with that, keep a perfect vision in front of you, something that gets you excited and going, and you will always run and strive to that direction. Awesome. Okay, let's get the questions. I'm going to take it to Miss Jill. She says, I'm not familiar with the initial executive summary. There are templates, right, that allow for the executive summary. So I'm going to ask Miss Selena, do you have those online as well within BSBA? If not, I'm sure we could probably get some over to her.
That is a great question, and I don't think I do, but I will definitely look for some to put up.
Miss Pat, did you have some?
Yeah. We have a business plan template that does ask questions to help you be able to create a business plan template. Yes, so we do have it.
Awesome, awesome. So I would say bsba-ca.gov. Go there and you'll be able to get some information that'll be able to direct you on how to do that. And remember, Miss Jill, we have appointments available for consultations. So please schedule one so that you're able to get with us and then we can go in more detail with you.
Now, I know Miss Pat got something because she has.
Yes, Miss Pat.
I do. So we can look at what I have at a later date and post it on our website. Yeah.
Awesome.
I just want to add, an executive summary is just that the summary of everything you've written. So are you going to summarize in a page or a page and a half? Because no one's going to read your entire business plan until they get to the executive summary. So it has to grab them. Yeah.
That's right. Awesome. Can we get a copy of the wonderful slides? I don't know. Can we get a copy? It's totally up to you. Miss Selena.
If you provide them, I'll put them up.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Absolutely. I'll provide them for you.
Awesome.
Yes, no problem, Miss Remy Abraham. Absolutely. Thank you for joining today. Oh, yes. I know, Mr. Kemp. Trust me, I get it. It's very, very hard to continue to follow through. That is why the accountability partner is so important. So find someone that is close or in your industry or someone that you trust that is actually in business because only they will be able to push you. Your friends and your peers that do not have a business will not be able to do it. So you'll have to find someone else. Any strategies for building a winning team for your business? So that's a good question. I would say strategies for building a winning team is, it's always like people say, well, sometimes the people around you are cool if they're doing good and they're positive, right? I would say look for the people that don't do things like what you do, right? A lot of the people that don't look like us, there are people in church. There are people that maybe you've connected with in different conferences, and you just like how they speak and they talk, and they may have individuals that they can refer. Are individuals within BSBA that are connected to you. So everyone that you connect to is an additional resource. So whoever they know becomes your resource. So I would say just definitely evaluate the friends that you have in your corner, evaluate the business partners that you're currently connected to, and then start to weed them out based on the direction that your business is going. Do they have a Black small business information page in Texas? Miss Remy, I don't think so, but I'm sure these concepts as far as how we do business do apply. I'll let Selena go ahead and take that one.
I don't know if they have one in Texas, but we have one in California, and we are happy to serve you. We will serve you if whatever you need, we will help you out. So check out our website, www.bsba-ca.org. We do have where you can schedule a consultation. I even broke it down for the area that you need to schedule a consultation in. It's very easy. Those calendars are on there, and we will get you set up.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome.
We got a lot of love coming, Stephanie. These people.
I see you. How many more questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are all your questions.
Awesome.
That's
okay. No problem.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I just appreciate being here and sharing this arena with you guys and being able to just encourage you, because trust me, I get it. You know, it is a hard process to be able to go into business on your own and then actually trust the process through that. Okay. So just continue to push through. Again, get your accountability partners and do what you got to do. If they're not doing their job, you cut them off. You treat them like they're a contractor. Let me get you out of here and get the right one. Okay. So good luck to you all.